So I will say that law school or being a lawyer was never on even like my top 20 list. It was the furthest thing from what I thought I would be. But the common thread throughout my life was what I should do, or thinking like, um, if it was a lot of shoulding on myself, thinking that to be good enough, I should do this, or to avoid being a disappointment to my parents or someone, I shouldn't do that. And so, through really not knowing what it was I wanted to do and thinking that becoming a doctor or a lawyer was prestigious, I joke around, my brother's a doctor, and he kind of scared me out of going to medical school. I say we flipped a coin, and he got the doctor, I got the lawyer end of the stick. So I
My
had taken
sister's
some time
also a
off.
doctor.
Yeah, you were saying that she was at Jefferson for med school.
Oh,
So
right, right.
so yeah, so I guess we decided, we flipped a coin and we decided one's going in that direction, the other's going the other. But I never had my heart set on it, but I felt like it was the right thing to do because I didn't know what else to do. And I went to law school and didn't I didn't really feel at home. And in a sense, not at home like in my physical home, but a lot of it felt forced. And I just kept on thinking that when I get past the first year, it's going to feel easier. I'm going to get through what's known as the hardest year. And in many aspects, the second year was harder than the first year, just based on the classes I took. And then I thought, oh, I'll get through it. And by the third year, I'll be coasting. And then the bar exam came up, and that was, a huge challenge. So I just kept pushing and telling myself I should just keep going. I wasn't really listening to the cues I was getting from my body and really allowing what I wanted to come through more than what I thought everybody else would think was best. And so I just kept grinding out. And fast forward to when after I passed the bar, I entered the I entered the profession of law, and I clerked for a year. I thought I was going to go into family law, so I clerked in family court for a judge, and quickly found that it was an area of law that was a little too emotional for me. So I took whatever I could get. I already had loans, and I wanted to pivot into something that could help me pay off the loans. So without really having any sense of what it was I wanted to do or what I could do with my degree, I went and worked at a plaintiff's firm. But you'll appreciate this because your sister's a doctor. I went into a plaintiff's firm where the the focus of the firm was on medical malpractice. I was representing plaintiffs who, specifically women who experienced, they had complications with their pregnancies and with delivery. So we were filing lawsuits left and right against midwives, OBs, and my brother disowned me for that year. He said, I don't know you. You've gone to the dark side. And so it wasn't the right fit for me, but I just, from there, I ended up going to the firm where I ended up being for the bulk of my career for close to 17 years. And I did defense litigation. So there really wasn't, I'd say, like a compass or a goal in mind. I just kept kind of saying I should keep at this. And all along with each of the different roles, there were certain aspects of it that I did enjoy. But for the most part, it wasn't, it didn't play into the parts of me that I think allowed me to be fully comfortable. I just kept thinking, oh, when I get more experience as a litigator, this will feel right. So about the midpoint of my 20 years as a litigator, I kind of hit a wall in the sense that I was overwhelmed with stress, anxiety. I was really run down. I had had two son. I had one son when I first began, or sorry, I had just gotten married when I started working at the defense firm where I spent the bulk of my career, and then a few years into that position or being with that firm, we had our first son, and I was somewhat able to keep up with the pace. I think I did actually really well the first couple of years, but then fast forward, we had some fertility issues in between son number one and some son number two, and throughout it all, I didn't miss a beat at work. I just, again, that theme of I shouldn't slow down, and I don't want to mess up, and I want to prove to them that I'm the right person for the job. So I just kept pushing through despite a lot of loss in between the our first son and our second.